shall wear at the last. Be an overcomer. He who stands with you is a mighty one who is always true. In the sorest conflict you shall win the day. Face the legions dark till they flee away. Overcome, overcome in Jehovah's might. Put the foe to flight, and the victor's crown you shall wear at last. Be an overcomer. You are heaven's heir, and a crown of life you may ever wear. So with courage press the battle to the gates till you gain the prize which in heaven waits. Overcome, overcome in Jehovah's might. Put the foe to flight, and the victor's crown you shall wear at the last. Be an overcomer, forward boldly go. You are strong enough if you trust God, so strong enough to conquer through sustaining grace and to overcome every foe you face. Overcome, overcome in Jehovah's might. Put the foe to flight, and the victor's crown you shall wear at last. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together with cords that cannot be broken. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together, Lord, bind us together with love. There is only one God. There is only one King. There is only one body. That is why we can sing. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together with cords that cannot be broken. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together, Lord, bind us together with love. Made for the glory of God, purchased by his precious Son, born with the right to be clean, for Jesus the victory has won. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together with cords that cannot be broken. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together, Lord, bind us together with love. You are the family of God. You are the promise divine. You are God's chosen desire. You are the glorious new wine. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together with cords that cannot be broken. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together, Lord, bind us together with love. As Jen comes to lead us in prayer this morning, we have so many needs that are listed there before us. Several I'd like to bring to your attention. We need to remember Donna Bell in our prayers. Donna comes to our first service here, and she's in the hospital just dealing with some, or not just, but dealing with heart issues. And She's hopefully getting home tomorrow, but let's keep her in prayer. For those of you who remember Ginny Bowser, Ginny was our secretary for many, many, many years. Ginny has went home to be in heaven, and so we just need to remember that entire family in our prayers. And so let's bow our heads for a word of prayer as Jen comes forward.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you so much for this day that we could come gather in your house, Lord. We just ask that all the prayers on the prayer list and the ones that are unspoken, Lord, that you would just answer all of them and be with the people who are hurting, the people who are dealing with the loss of a loved one, Lord, that you would just surround them. Lord, for all the unspoken prayers that people come here with, we just so grateful that we serve a God who knows what's in each and every one of our hearts, and I just pray that you be with every one of them. Lord, we pray for Pastor Bob as he brings this message, that you would open everybody's hearts and ears, and that they would not only hear the message, but they would take it with them whenever they go out for the rest of the week. It is in your precious name we pray. Amen.
You may be seated. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. As I walked through the door, I sense his presence. And I knew this was the place where love abounds. For this is a temple, Jehovah God abides here. We are standing in his presence on holy ground. We are standing on holy ground, and I know that there are angels all around. Let us praise Jesus now. We are standing in his presence on holy ground. In his presence there is joy beyond measure, and at his feet peace of mind can still be found. If you have a need, I know he has the answer. Just reach out and claim it, child. You're standing on holy ground. We are standing on on holy ground. And I know that there are angels all around. Let us praise Jesus now. We are standing in his presence on holy ground.
So we're in week 2 of being here in our new little worship center for the summer, and you all found the same seats that you were in last week. It's pretty amazing how that works. We're glad that you're here and worshiping with us. A lot of our folks are, as Pastor Lee said, up at church camp right at this moment, and hope that you're able to join us during the week. Pastor Lee and I will be up there all week. So if you need us, just call the church office. Those phones ring into our cell phones, and we can get to anything that you might need us to get to. That's important. And if we don't answer the phones right away, leave a message, and we'll get right back to you as well. We are going to talk about time, and we're going to talk about time for the next several weeks. Summer is kind of one of those times where we kind of relax, rightfully so. We kind of catch our breath. We do different things and kind of just mix up the routine. Summer should be, I think, a time of just relaxation, a time to be able to regroup, and then to hit it hard again whenever we feel that God's timing is in that. But I also believe that even though summer is all those kind of things, it's never a reason to relax in our relationship with Christ and to be involved in the purpose that he has given us. So we're going to talk about time. Time is one of those things that is kind of relative. It depends on who's looking at the time. It depends on our circumstances and what's going on within our lives, how we look at time, and how it relates to us. I think about when I was in school, like high school, and waiting for summer break to take place. It seemed like it was an eternity that summer was going to happen. And I know that it even felt that way even more for my teachers. You know, when are we going to get rid of these guys for the summer? And then I know that I remember hearing my parents saying, oh, summer is dragging so much. I can't wait till you guys get back to school. And we're thinking, man, this summer has flown by so fast. It's relative, isn't it? And so when we think about time with us, we're kind of locked into it. You might even say we kind of are like prisoners in time. And then when you take that whole perspective from God, time, he's not locked into it like we are. He's not a prisoner to it. He uses time as a tool, and we know the scriptures that 1,000 years is like a day, and a day is like 1,000 years to him. And we don't have that perspective. We more are locked into it. And I want us from that perspective to take a look at just understanding that today matters. It matters because we've been given this day, and we're not guaranteed if we're going to have another day or not. Moses had a prayer, and it's recorded in Psalms 90:12. That might come to you a surprise to you that Moses' prayers are found in the Psalms because we often attribute so much of the Psalms to David. But this psalm here was the words of David's prayer, and Moses' prayer, and he's praying, teach us to number our days, that we might gain a heart of wisdom. So what he's saying is, God, not just allow me to know how many days I have. Am I going to live till I'm 85? Am I going to die sooner? But what he is saying is, I know that my days are limited. I know that I only have so much time. I don't know how much time. But help me make the most of it, because I know that it's a limited resource that you have given me. And so help me to understand that I've got this opportunity. Help me be wise in it. Help me make decisions that will honor and glorify you. And so we're going to look at a few things over the next several weeks. Today we're going to look at just some basics about time. And there's so many passages of Scripture about time that we're not going to look at all of those today. I'm just going to pull out a few, and then next week we're going to look at some different scriptures, and then the following week as well. And one of the things that the Bible is so good at is just being blunt. Just saying, here's the facts. Doesn't always sugarcoat life. And that's a good thing, because sometimes we need to be reminded of the realities that we live in. And James, out of all the books in the Bible, is one of those that just really brings truths home. And one of them is, time is short. James says this in chapter 4, verse 14. You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. That's comforting, isn't it? We're just here for a little short time and then we're gone. We live, living here in this little valley right here, we get sucked in a lot in the spring and in the fall with a fog along the river. And sometimes you wake up in the morning and you think, this is going to be a miserable day. We're just going to be sucked into this fog, and within a couple of hours, by 10 o'clock, it's burnt out and the sun's shining and it's a beautiful day. And it just always reminds me of this passage of Scripture that there's a mist and then it's gone. It doesn't really matter how long that mist lasts, whether it's a couple of hours. When we think about our lives, it doesn't matter if we've been given 10 years or we've been given 100 years. When you think about our lives, and we don't know how much time any of us have, we're reminded that it's just a short period. When you think about eternity, have you ever thought about eternity? That with God there never was a beginning and there never was an end, and He always was, He always is, He always will be. That is mind-boggling, to think of eternity in those spans, and then just think that we're not even a speck in all of that. We might be tempted to say, well, then our lives really don't matter. That we really, we're here, we're gone, what difference does it make? But the Bible is clear that we need to make the most of our days. That's why Moses is praying to God, help me count my days, help me understand that they're important, help me prioritize my life, help me live according to your priorities and your purposes in life and not mine. Help me to be wise in all of that. There's this parable that is found in Luke chapter 12. It's a parable of the rich fool. And I want to read it out of the New Living Translation. If you have your Bibles, I invite you to turn there. And we're going to look at this. I want to read it because it starts out with a guy asking Jesus, please tell my brother to divide our father's estate with me. This quickly becomes into a discussion about greed. And Jesus is talking to this man through a parable. First he says, friend, who made me a judge over who decides such things like this? And then he said, beware, guard against every kind of greed. Life's not measured by how much you own. We need to hear that. It's not by big are the toys. It's not by how big our bank account is. It's not about all these things that the world makes it about. And Jesus begins to tell this parable of this man who had it all. He was successful. He was being blessed. And it wasn't wrong that he was being blessed. It was wrong in what he was doing with what he had. And Jesus says this: a rich man had a fertile farm that produced fine crops. And he said to himself, what should I do? I don't have room for all my crops. And then he said, I know. I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones. And then I'll have room enough to store all my wheat and other goods. And I'll sit back and I'll say to myself, my friend, you have enough stored away for years to come. Now take it easy. Eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, you fool, you will die this very night, then you will get everything you worked for. When Jesus uses the word fool, we need to pay close attention to what he has to say about why he calls that person a fool. It wasn't that he was a fool because he had all of this wheat and grain and built bigger barns, but it was what he was neglecting while he was building up his fortune, while he was getting his retirement, you might say, fund. And he's thinking, if I have more and more and more and I store, eventually I'm just going to be able to relax and I'm going to enjoy life. We live in a culture like that. We spend all of our life trying to build for retirement. And retirement's good, that you get to retire from your jobs. You just don't get to retire from God's work. And Jesus says, yes, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth but not have a rich relationship with God. He wasn't a fool for storing. He was a fool for not focusing in on his relationship with God, for doing the things that God would have him do. And oftentimes we are blessed so that we can bless others, and this man wasn't concerned about helping others. He wasn't concerned about his relationship with God. It was just himself. And there he's called a fool. And it's just a reminder that we got just a short time to make this life count, to make it matter, to glorify God. And oftentimes we get distracted by the wrong things. We embrace the values of this culture that we live in and not the Word of God. So we go to another passage of Scripture in Ephesians. And we're reminded that not only do we have a short time, but there are moments that happen within our life that we need to take very seriously. Paul says this to the church at Ephesus: make the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Make the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Here's the thing that you need to grasp. Evil is not an excuse to do less. It's a call to do more. There are people who will say, what is the use of doing anything in this world because it's evil? And we will gripe and we will complain. And Christians are the best at complaining about the condition of this world and doing nothing about it. It makes us feel like we're doing something if we complain about it. And Paul's telling us, yeah, we live in a world that is evil, but make every opportunity, take every opportunity to live in your purpose, to make the day count. I've told this story over and over the years, and it's one that I picked up when I was in Bible college, and I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a great story. And if you heard it before, you're going to hear it again. Two shoe salespeople. They get sent by their company to Africa, in the jungles, to sell shoes. The first salesman sends a message back to the home office and says, don't bother sending any shoes. They don't wear them. They're not going to buy them. The second salesman, he because nobody has shoes, and there's an open market for it. One was defeated, get it? Just making sure you're awake, and the other wasn't. We at times look at this world that we live in, and we look at all the evil. And we become angry, and we should. Sometimes we become discouraged. And a lot of times we end up retreating. And Paul's reminding us that in this world, because there is evil, that means that there's going to be great opportunity for us to engage it, to redeem it. When he says make the most of every opportunity, and you look in the original language, it's a language that's saying you redeem it, you reclaim it. It's Satan stole this, and we're going to take it back. And so, I don't know, what are the moments that we find ourselves in? You know, instead of being paralyzed by the darkness, maybe we need to be provoked by it. And so when we live in a culture and we see that it's corrupt, maybe instead of just remaining silent and retreating, we speak the truth in love. And we don't compromise. And we're not apologetic for it. When people are hurting, maybe it's we show acts of compassion toward them. Jesus said, if you give a cup of water even to the littlest of these, the least of these, you won't lose your reward. It's little things matter. How about when families are falling apart and you've got a front row seat to it? Instead of being the commentator, the sidearm coach, instead of saying, I see what's going wrong and all of this, why not be the one who steps in and encourages and supports and guides them to the one who can bring healing? When everyone else is being distracted in this world, we are called to be intentional about every opportunity that we're given. And opportunities come around all the time. Paul says this in Romans 12:21. Don't be overcome with evil, but overcome evil with good. That's how we make a difference. That's how we're the light. That's how we're the salt. By doing good. The good that God has created us to do. And it can happen at any moment. So, I think most everybody knows what happened on July 4th to my grandson. Falling, fracturing his head, being life-flighted from here to Pittsburgh, and he's doing great. There's no signs of any difficulties. He's doing good, and we're grateful for that. But here's one of the things that happened. I don't believe in coincidences. And I believe that sometimes even in the worst situations, God puts people in other people's paths in moments of crisis. And so when they took my grandson and put him in the ambulance and my son got in with him, they drove him to the fire department in Washington Township where the helicopter was waiting. And it took them several minutes to get all of that organized and the vitals, and had his neck brace on, and this little 4-year-old laying on a gurney. And they take him and they move him to the helicopter. My son was permitted to get on the helicopter and go to Pittsburgh with them. And as the helicopter is taking off, one of the paramedics says to my son, because he sees his shirt that he has on, Jesus over everything, and he recognizes that that was the whole theme of the Messiah baseball team this past year. He says, are you an alumni of Messiah College? Or do you know somebody that goes there? And my son said, no, I'm the baseball coach there. And this paramedic says, I graduated from there 5 years ago, just before my son got there. He said, do you know so-and-so and so-and-so? And they made this connection, and that paramedic, in that moment of crisis, took and made the most of that opportunity by using a common connection that he saw and began to say to my son, we're praying, we're doing our best, we're trusting God. And it was more than just this guy saying those things. My son knew, because of his short little testimony, that it was genuine. And that paramedic made the most of that opportunity. What opportunities have any of us just let go? When we're at a restaurant and we see someone distraught, do we make contact with them? Do we at least say hi? Do we try to strike up a conversation? Or do we just kind of feel like, none of my business? Could it be the very fact that that's the reason that we were there, not just to eat, but God had us go to that restaurant for that person to be able to encourage and talk to them? We have to be aware of our surroundings, which I am accused by my wife of often not being. I can be in a crowd and have somebody right next to me, and it just happened a couple of weeks ago, and I'll say, she said, did you see so-and-so? Nope, I did not. I'm in my own little world. And we got to break out of that self-centered place that we tend to live, and make every opportunity to minister, to do good, to overcome evil in this world. You know, Daniel, in his story in the Old Testament, Daniel, he's taken into Babylonian captivity. He's a stranger. These people are corrupt. They don't even worship his God. And they're told at one point, you got to eat this food. And he says, no, I eat this food. They said, you can't pray. And he said, no, I'm going to continue praying. He wasn't doing these things because he was told he couldn't do them. He was doing them because that's what he always did before he even got to that place to worship and honor his God. And so he prayed. And then he was thrown into the lion's den. And Daniel, he just kept being faithful in the sense of the evil. And that's what God's calling us to do in our Babylon. To be faithful. To make the most of every opportunity that he has given us. So then there's this other thing that's found just in the verse before in Ephesians. Be careful then how you live, not as unwise, but wise. We live in a world that is really good at wasting time. And we need to be careful about that. Because like we started out, we've only got an unlimited amount of time. We're not guaranteed the rest of this day. We're not guaranteed tomorrow, but we have this moment. And what are we doing? Are we living unwise like the rich young farmer? Or are we really seeking the purpose that God has placed us here on this earth and fulfilling it? Yeah, we're going to go here. How many have these? You want to put them up? I'm not taking them. I'm not even going to ask you what your last contact was or what your last search was, but probably the majority of us have these things. These can be one of the greatest, they're smartphones, only if we use them smartly. Smartly, wisely, however you want to say it. These things are time savers. They can be our guide to get us from point A to point B with maps. We can find out information just by saying, hey Siri, tell me. No, don't. But do you know how studies have found how much time their phone? Huh? 8 hours? And you both would be wrong. Yeah, I mean, you're close, but it's on the high side. 4 to 5 hours a day. The same studies say that people, and I find this hard to believe, will touch their phones 2,600 times a day. 2,600 times. And you're going, there's no way I do that. That's because we become so conditioned to these things. I have left my phone at home and wondered if I would survive the day. Like somehow my heart's going to stop because I don't have this and I don't have a connection to the world. What if somebody needs me? What if I need, more importantly, somebody? The other day, I was on the phone and I was doing my favorite pastime, MacBid, and I won a thing. And so I had to go up to MacBid and get it at Yun's. And you got to sit there in a waiting area, and they get your stuff and bring it to you. And I was waiting, and there were, I'm not exaggerating, there were like 18 people sitting in this little waiting area with ropes, waiting for their stuff. Every single person had their phone like this. Nobody looked up. Nobody looked around, including myself. Except I did look around because it caught my attention. I'm like, we're all on our stinking phones. None of us have had a conversation with the person next to us. And we've missed opportunities. These are great tools if we use them wisely. But I have seen parents ignore their children who are clamoring for attention, and they're on their phones looking at what the neighbor has to say on Facebook. And what's the latest news? I have heard of people who are in the same house, have conversations, texting each other. Ridiculous. Unless I'm upstairs and my wife's downstairs and I want her to bring me something. We need to redeem the time with these things. And this is only one thing. I mean, we have these, and on this, I've got Fubo. I can watch any television show I want to watch that I could watch at home. I've got Hulu. I've got Netflix. And I'm getting convicted. And you can binge all you want on any show at any time. And we waste so much time with these gadgets. So maybe it would be good to set these things down and have conversations with people. One of the things that Jennifer, our CE director, did this year was you had a phone jail for all of the workers, teenage workers. And it was a plastic bin with a lid, and it said phone jail. And all the workers were to come in and put their phones in there. I thought, go ahead, you're gonna be crucified over this. And it wasn't. They brought their phones in, they put them in the phone jail, they put the lid on it, they signed their names, and after it was all over, and you know what? They interacted. They didn't complain. They were making an impact on people. And sometimes we just need to put these things down and have real conversations with people that are right in front of us. We need to be, so many people use these dumb things to document your life. Picture after picture after picture. And it's good to have those memories, but when you look back on it, you're going, I wonder where that was. I wonder what we were doing. You miss out on all of the conversations and them being in the moment because you're so busy taking pictures of everything. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying you got to have a balance in life. What my dad was alive, he had a habit of calling me on Saturday evenings right at 7 o'clock or 6:30 because he knew that's when I was going to be preaching. That's how I learned to keep my phone on silent. Anyway, side note. There's a song, Live Like You Were Dying, Tim McGraw. I'm not going to sing it, so don't worry. Don't run out of here. It's about a guy who found out that he had cancer and he was dying. He only had a limited amount of time. And the song goes, you know, he decided to make the most out of today. It says, I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bowl named Fu Manchu. I loved deeper and I spoke sweeter and I gave forgiveness I've been denying. Someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. That's a very impactful statement. Someday I hope that you get a chance to live like you're dying. Here's the reality. You don't have to be given a terminal diagnosis to live like you're dying, because here's some more good news. We're all dying. We're one step closer to our end. So with that being said, and knowing that time is precious and time is sacred, then what are we doing with the time that we have? How are we honoring God? Are we living into His purpose instead of our purpose? Are we bringing glory to Him, or are we disgracing Him? Are we investing in people, or just in ourselves? And often the question is, what are you doing today that will matter 5 years from now? That's an okay question, but it's not the best. The best question is, what are you doing today that will impact throughout eternity? That's the question. Let's pray. So, Father, we were being reminded today, as if life at times doesn't just hit us face on with the reality that our lives are limited. Lord, you remind us that we all have a certain amount of time and we don't know what it is, and we thank you for that. But may we live each day as a gift that you have given. May we live each day knowing that we can glorify you. May we live each day in the purpose that you have created us. And Lord, I would pray that even today, even as we worship here together, there are opportunities that we need to make the most of. Maybe it's making most of the opportunity to just say, here I am. Here's all of me. And Lord, I've come not just to receive, but I've come to give. And I've come to receive all that you want to give me. But then may we leave here in boldness and courage and love and strength to be able to make a difference. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for all that have attended here today to bring glory to your name. May you find us doing